Hi everyone, welcome to week one of our English 200 class. My name is Jacob Hale. If you haven't watched the previous video that I sent out, I'd recommend doing that. In that video, I give a more general overview of the class, show you around our classroom website, tell you where to find things, talk about some of the policies. That's a better video to start with. In this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about the assignments for week one. So here we are in our My Classroom webpage here. You'll see the announcements that I've sent out previously. Those should also be in your email. And to take a look at what we're doing in week one, actually, I'm first going to go to our calendar here. I think this is a good tool. It's a good place for you to look pretty regularly. And let me move to, we'll start here. So you'll see on Thursday coming up, you have an initial post due for our discussion board. And then I'm going to move over to the next week on the calendar, and that's where you're going to see the things that you have due Sunday. So you have a quiz due this Sunday. You have replies to the discussion board post due on Sunday. You also have a McGraw-Hill Connect module due. Now, this last little reminder here, this is not a separate assignment. This is just a reminder to check to make sure that you've done everything you needed to do for the week one discussion. So that's our calendar for our first week. Now I'm actually going to go to the content for week one. You can find this in a couple of places. You can scroll down and open up the week one folder. I like to go to the content button here. And then there is a section for each week in class. So I'm going to open up week one, and then I'm going to launch the unit. This is week one. This is an introduction to English 200. We're going to move on to our learning materials. You'll notice that I'm navigating the pages using the arrows in the upper right-hand corner here. So this week, we're going to cover all the basics necessary for a good foundation and a strong start in our course. I'm going to walk you through each of these kind of major types of assignments you'll be completing this term. So MH Connect. And I'm trying to decide if I want to just read this to you or if I want to summarize what it's saying. Just for the sake of being thorough, I will read this to you. And then if I feel like if I have anything extra I want to say, I will add that in. So we use a wonderful program called McGraw-Hill Connect. You'll see me abbreviate that to MH Connect to have you reading and interacting with our online textbook, as well as brushing up on mechanics and grammar concepts. In the MH Connect work for this week, we begin our study of writing with our Smart Book work for Chapter 1. We will examine why, when, and how we write, as well as how to choose subjects to write about. In this important work, we learn that there's more to writing than just dashing off a single draft hurriedly the night before it's due. We must always first establish the best environment for ourselves and then carefully consider the subject, audience, purpose, strategy, and design. Discussion forum. Next, we do the important work of introducing ourselves to our writers groups, through our discussion forum, is what that should say, and enter into thoughtful and community-building conversations with classmates through our replies. There are small groups of 7 to 8 students that you'll be in all term long. Many students find this their favorite part of the course. Now, for some of you, this term, I have 1 or 2 classes that are unusually small, so there may not be as many writing groups. In fact, some classes may only have a single writers group. And then PowerPoint and quiz. We know that My Classroom environment in English 200 may be new to you. Therefore, we've created a PowerPoint to guide you. The How to Succeed in English 200 PowerPoint is sure to give you solid footing as we begin our important work this term. You'll get a bird's eye view of the different parts of this class and learn strategies to help you do well in the course, as well as ways to effectively keep track of what is due, when, and how best to communicate with your professor. There's also a narrated PowerPoint that you can watch or listen to if you wish. There's a quiz on this material, so make sure to take notes. Now, it's good to know that the quizzes in my classroom are set to unlimited attempts up until the due date, so you can take those quizzes as many times as you need to in order to get a higher score. You're sure to find this week's work time well spent as you acquaint yourself with the basics of how to approach writing assignments in general and understand how best to approach the various aspects of our online English 200 class. And down here, you'll see our objectives for week 1. After completing this week's work, you'll be able to do the following: demonstrate knowledge of the various aspects of the course, identify strategies for success, describe how to best approach writing assignments, analyze the rhetorical situation of a writing assignment, and develop collegial relationships among writers' groupmates. So that's our overview for this week. I'm now going to move on to the readings and resources. Every week, there's going to be a section called Readings and Resources, where you'll find the PowerPoints, the videos, the readings, supplemental articles, everything that you need in order to be successful for that week's work. Here we have a video on how to succeed in English 200. Please make sure to watch that. It will go over some of the same material that I sent you in my previous video, but it never hurts to be thorough. The whole course is online, and a lot of people are not used to taking online courses. They don't love online courses. So you're really setting yourself up for success if you go into this class knowing as much as possible. We also have a video here on how to make discussion forum posts. Here is a copy of the PowerPoint. This How to Succeed in English 200. That's the same thing that is covered in this video here. And you're going to be reading chapter 1 in your textbook. I've noted this elsewhere, but there is no physical textbook for this class. It's just an online book. Here we have a couple of useful videos to navigate MH Connect. If you're having any issues with that program, please watch these. They should be able to help you out. And in a second, I'll also show you as much of MH Connect as I'm able to. So we're moving on to our assignments now. So we have our first MH Connect module. This is assignment 1-1. Here you'll find the instructions for this. To complete an MH Connect module and get credit on it, you have to get a 100%. So anything less than 100% is not enough to get credit. Even if you get a 99, you will still get a 0 on the assignment. These are designed so that you quote unquote master the concepts being covered. So you have to get a 100%. The questions in that cover the reading that you were assigned for this week. That's in the Smart Book here. And sort of how this assignment works is the program will keep asking you questions until it feels like you have mastered it. And it'll target the areas that you seem to be lacking in. So if you keep missing certain types of questions, it's going to focus on those rather than the concepts that you have demonstrated mastery of already. This is due by 11:55 p.m. on Sunday of week 1. And it's worth noting here, due to a limitation in the Connect system, the due date in Connect is set to a distant future date. The calendar that I showed you a minute ago, that's where you'll see all of the due dates. You also have a reminder here that it is due Sunday of this week. Let me see if there is... Yeah, I'll go ahead and open this up. So this takes you to our McGraw-Hill Connect kind of main page here. We have some instructions for how to access McGraw-Hill Connect for the first time. So please read and follow those if you haven't already. And then when you're ready to do the assignment, you'll click here. Click here to access your Connect course. Now, I'm not sure if you'll actually be able to see. I'm making this video on Sunday. before the term starts. So I may not actually be able to show you exactly what these assignments look like, but I am going to give it a go. So I'm going to switch to student view here so that my end looks like yours. This is what you will normally see. You'll see all the modules that we need to complete this term. And so, this week we're doing the first one. I'm going to open this up. Yeah, and so this, you'll see the lock here. This means that I can't access this yet. You'll see the start date is set for tomorrow. So tomorrow, Monday, you'll be able to click this and it'll take you to the assignment. From there, it's not super hard to figure out. And again, we have some helpful videos here. So this video shows you how the assignment works. Make sure to watch this. If you have any trouble with that, you're not really sure what to do, just let me know and I can help you out. But in my experience, the videos are really pretty helpful. So that's the first thing, the McGraw-Hill Connect module. Now let's move on to our discussion this week. This is a pretty discussion-heavy class. There are many weeks in which you have a discussion board post due. And how that works is the initial post is always due on Thursday, and then you have 2 reply posts that are always due on Sundays. So everything in this class is either due on a Thursday or on a Sunday. People sometimes have a hard time remembering when the work is due, but just remember Thursday and Sunday are your key days. What I would do is I would put a reminder in my phone for every Thursday and Sunday just to hop online and check to make sure that I have done all the work that I need to do. Here is a rubric that shows you how the discussion board posts will be graded. I'm not going to read through all of this. You can read through this on your own. You'll just see here that the grade is broken down into the initial post, the content, and the initial post quality. So it's 4 points for the content, 4 points for the quality. This column here, these boxes will show you what you need to do in order to get full credit. And then each other section explains how you might lose points. And then if we scroll down, your response posts, your replies, those are 4 points each. You need to do 2 replies. There's a total of 8 points. So your discussion board posts are always worth 16 points. Please make sure to don't forget about the reply posts. A lot of people end up hurting themselves because they skip the reply posts, and those are worth 50% of your discussion grades. So let's take a look at what you actually need to do for each of these things. In your initial post, you're going to be interacting with your writers group, and you're going to discuss at least 4 key areas of your life. You could pick any 4 from this list here. You can also talk about things that aren't listed here. These just give you some ideas of things you might want to talk about. In your reply posts, there's not a lot of limits to what you have to say here. Just try to be positive, encouraging, try to engage with your classmates organically. You may wish to welcome them to class, share anything you have in common, ask questions of them, things like that. Your initial post needs to be a minimum of 250 words. Your reply posts need to be a minimum of 100 words each. So in total, your reply post is 200 words. Each one needs to be at least 100 words. And we have some additional instructions here showing you how to make your posts, how to reply. We also have some tips here for how to be successful in the discussion board posts. And if any of this doesn't make sense to you, if you want me to clarify anything, just let me know and I would be happy to do so. And now we're moving on to our quiz. The quiz is also due on Sunday of week 1. You can take the quizzes as many times as you want to in order to get a 100% or, whatever grade you are satisfied with. Because I'm an instructor, there's not a button that actually lets me take this quiz, but when you pull up this page on your end, you'll see, a pretty obvious place to click Start Quiz. And the quizzes, like most assignments in the class, can be accepted up to 2 days late for a 5% deduction for each day that it is late. So McGraw-Hill Connect assignments can be accepted 2 days late, quizzes can be accepted 2 days late, initial posts can be accepted 2 days late. The only thing that can't be accepted late are the reply posts. So you have to make sure you get those in by Sundays. And that's it for week 1. Now you'll see this progress bar that tells me things that are missing. So I didn't take the quiz, so that's one of the two things that I'm missing. But we kind of have an issue with the McGraw-Hill Connect program where because that's like a separate program through a different company, it doesn't sync up as well with my classroom as it maybe could. So even if you've completed the McGraw-Hill Connect module, it'll still show you that you are missing something. It'll say 4 out of 5. This doesn't really update until I go in and put grades in for those assignments. So what I would do, I would just ignore this progress bar. It can be confusing, it can be misleading. Each week, I'm going to send out a checklist that will show you everything that you need to do. So I would just use that checklist. I would use the course calendar to help keep track of your assignments. That is it for week 1. If anything doesn't make sense, you'd like me to expand on anything, just let me know. Send me an email. I'll be happy to help you out. My email is J as in Jacob, Hale as in my last name, Hale, jhale at hondros.edu, jhale at hondros.edu.